Court is in session in cause number 330366. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Eric Smith. We have Mr. Smith appearing via Zoom. Mr. Smith, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Smith, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Smith? How are you doing, Mr. Smith?
Oh, I'm okay, sir. How are you?
Well, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Smith, your attorney of record in this case is attorney Kyle Walker. However, Mr. Walker is not here, and standing in for Mr. Walker is attorney John West.
Yes.
Does Mr. West have your permission to stand in for Mr. Kyle Walker?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. West, do you waive a record in Mr. Smith's case?
We do, Your Honor, yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
I have before me a document that is titled information. This information has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office, and it alleges that on or about June 17th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of failure to identify a fugitive from justice. Mr. Smith, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Smith, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, sir.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonition. This is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. On page 2 of this document, Mr. Smith, there are a set of initials, ES, that are on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Mr. Smith, did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Mr. Smith, did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
I have another document before me, Mr. Smith. This document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. And at the bottom of this document, Mr. Smith, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Mr. Smith, did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
At the top of the same document, Mr. Smith, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, did you sign a document out there on paper that is titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, sir, I did.
Now, Mr. Smith, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, I think it was Mr. Walker, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir, he did.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir, I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir, they are.
Mr. Smith, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir, I am.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states 1.
Any
No objections to the defense.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Now, Mr. West, you advised and counseled Mr. Smith. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
Actually, Your Honor, that would be Mr. Walker. I have not advised and counseled this individual. I'm stepping in for another attorney, but I did speak with Mr. Walker yesterday at the jail. We have had a conversation about this, and the answer to the question is yes, he's okay. There's no comment.
Okay. And Mr. Smith, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Smith, Your attorney, Mr. Walker, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir, I am.
And Mr. West has also advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his
Yes,
representation?
yes, sir, I am.
Okay, have they provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir, they have.
Okay, Mr. Smith, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea in this case, we're recommending that the court order he be confined to the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 5 days. However, we're asking that the court give the defendant credit for the 5 days he's already spent in jail, essentially making this a time served offer. And with regard to court costs, we're asking that the court use that same jail time to tax and retire the court costs.
Okay, Mr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
the state is offering that you serve 5 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 5 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for time served. The court cost in this case is $387, but you will not have to pay the $387 because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Smith, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir, I do.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir, it is.
And
And I thank you.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, Mr. Smith, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Smith, this will conclude this case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day. Follow the bailiff.
Thank you. You all have the same.
All right.